All right, guys. Sorry for this little jumbled mess. I'll try to do this video best as possible. I have an xlx2 here, and as you can see, the bullet is damaged here. So the first thing you want to do is make sure the xlx2 is still good, because there's a chance it might not be good, after that kind of damage. So I do have my capacitor here. I don't even know if this is good. So I'm gonna charge it up a little bit just to see if it's good first of all. Negative, negative, positive, positive. And go from there. Try not to make this video too long, but I'm not sure. This is just after the crash. It should be all right because it was functioning up until it crashed, and it was already previously repaired, so it's just the repair coming loose, but I just want to make sure. A little spark, give me some charge. So this is just a 3S pack. That should be enough charge in there to get it somewhere. Now what I'll do is plug it in here, and then we will touch down in the location where, with all this extra solder, it's just a nightmare, guys. So let me just take the cover off. As if it is good. Let me just plan as if it's good. How about that? If it's not good, at least you will see how I do the repair. Make sure I have all the right tools on me. Right, yeah. So you need to remove the cover of the fan. That's a 1.5. Using this Hobeo Racing tool. Blah, blah, blah. Don't really do shit like this, so just bear with me. This is much easier just to fix things and keep it moving than to try to actually show people a share, because it's like a format everybody uses. But what do you think about that new Castle high voltage ESC that came out? Looks like it's doing great. It's already setting single record numbers. That's pretty cool. All right, take that off there. And okay, so I have more fan shrouds. I have a box of xlx2s that were damaged or broken, so I'll just probably pull off a different fan shroud and use that for this, if this works out, which it should. I don't see any reason why it won't. So yeah, this xlx2 has been through a lot. As you can see, a lot of damage, broken fins. Don't even really care about the fins, tell you the truth. Just want to make sure that this is going to be working. So let's plug in the harness again. Should be all right. Harness is a little out of sorts as well, but looks like it works. And then we'll speed through the next parts of this process if this all works out. So I'm just going to touch it down there to see if we get any lights. Yep, you can hear that, so that works. Shout out to Flow Packs, man. I like that capacitor. All right, so let me run and grab what I need. Sorry, I don't have everything right in front of me. So the next step of this process for me is heating things up. I do this so I can loosen up everything I need so I can actually position shit where it needs to go. So if you have butane, MAP works a lot faster than butane, just so you know. Tempered glass, not worried about it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is remove this bullet from everything. Now this is the second time I'm fixing this ESC, guys, so mind you, shouldn't take too much heat to do everything I'm trying to do here. Good. Get that solder off. There we go. Whew. Nice and easy. Clean this up. Don't really need anything on there. So that's good enough. All right, turn the heat off. We put this somewhere to cool. And what we're gonna do now is grab some flux. You know, any kind of flux liquid works best. And we're just gonna add a little bit, move this wire out of your way, to my hole here. As you can see, it's still plenty of material there, so it's not gonna be any issue, at least that I see, of getting this together again. And operating minus any kind of hard crashes. But yeah, getting back to that xlx2 high voltage, even the Ghost. I haven't picked up the Ghost. Like, it didn't really make sense to keep buying and upgrading just to have the latest and greatest, because there's just no space where I am. As you can see where I'm at, it's, unless I'm pushing 2S or 3S really, really hard, it just doesn't make too much sense. So I kind of slowed down, started doing the gas stuff. But I'm excited that Castle actually is doing the high voltage thing. You know, I get a lot of people who usually don't do 12S into it. There's a lot of new people, a lot of people who will be into it because of that. So I'm happy about that. It's just pretty cool. It's right over there. All right, so I try to clean off the solder, and I think I did find my soldering scraper. I'd like to have a clean soldering iron if I'm gonna do this now. Just super unprepared for this video, guys, but thanks for staying in touch, man. I have a couple of speed cars that I do like running, but you know, after these crashes, it's kind of within a week, there's 2 chassis gone. Thankfully, I didn't have to spend much money because I already, you know, had to shit around, but you know, it takes a little out of you. So repairing this stuff is cool, but not crashing is much cooler. Here we go. Yeah, this is what I need. So let me hurry up and fix this. Shouldn't take much more than 5 seconds. So pretty much you flux the area. You need a good soldering iron. I have, let me turn this off so I don't destroy it. I use this KSGR GER. This is probably the easiest, fastest, and best soldering iron, T12. They make different versions of it. If you're gonna buy one, just buy the latest one, if possible. All right, let's try to clean this brush off, because good God, it's fucking brutal. Just want to clean it off, but I can't find anything I need right now. As you can see, place is a freaking mess. So there we go. Everything's around where it's supposed to be. Oh, fucking hell. All right. So let's try to clean off this soldering iron. That's good enough. Try not to take too long with this. Fresh solder on there. And the iron's gonna be really hot, so You want to just tin this whole area. Tin could be in the middle, it could be on the sides, it doesn't even matter, just as long as it's in there. Try not to corrode the whole surface because you do have that epoxy. So you want to make sure the tin penetrates through the epoxy into the metal surface. You don't want to contaminate it too much. So, boop, that's my little bullet right there. So that's about all the solder I'm going to use for this repair. That's probably too much. Honestly, it's going to come out, but it is what it is. So we put the iron away, and then we go back to this little bullet we have, and we're going to heat it up and place it right down. Man, this plastic melted, everything all over the place here. All right, still recording, 11 minutes. You still with me? Thanks for watching. Almost done. Okay, so you're gonna need to have this in a position so when you're placing it down, you're able to get it straight and secure. So if you center it upside down, grab it. That should be more than enough, but you want to use it by the tip because you don't have that much space, and you want to heat it up. So we just get this really hot. And when we get this really hot, the heat from this will just melt the solder and fuse it in, and then we're done. So it's gonna heat it up. That's all we're doing. And I use MAP gas because it just gets a lot hotter and it's a lot faster. So I'll say maybe 25 seconds of constant heat should do. I like a lot of heat, so I could go 40 seconds. But it'll get hot. You don't want to touch it, obviously. So I'm pretty much done. I'm happy with the heat. So now I'm just gonna place it. Hopefully I get it right. And it doesn't feel like I got it right at all, but we're gonna try to make it get in there. Feels like I got it, but I got it. It's in there. Not happy with it. So we're gonna take it off and try again. Now, taking it off is a little harder because you don't want to destroy, obviously, the metal, but I got a different position I'm gonna use. Not everything happens right the first time, guys. There we go, it's out. You could even see the solder still in there. So I was right to take that out. I didn't like the way it was sitting. So we're gonna fix that right now. That was a good choice. So it's not permanent. You can always remove the bullets if you want to. You can remove the other bullet if you wanted to right now too. So this is the way they do this. It's just different. And the amount of heat and stuff you use is just not practical to keep doing something like this. So I'm gonna try to get this to work right now. Intense heat, low red, low and red. Let's go. It's in there. But I'm holding maximum pressure on this thing, blowing it cool, and I'm releasing. Now, to me, I think that's going to be quality. Not much more I could do besides filling it up with way more solder. But the solder should have spread and it should have held, especially with the flux. I'm confident at that. I'm confident. So the next step would be just adding some solder and filling this in. And as you can see, it's like a nightmare in there. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at in there. But that's solder. There's solder in there. So what I'm gonna do is clean this up. And just stick some raw wire in there. And try not to use too much heat to get this in here. That's how my sit is gonna sit. Yep, see. So there's enough in here for me to actually sit it. I'll use some flux and get it together. And that's the second repair of this ESC. So you see, drop a dab on it, just dab up a little bit. Very little bit of flux I use. At least the little amount of better, I feel. And do I have helping hands for this? No, I do have one somewhere. Probably should use it. Gotta have one clip on you. Yes, you do, my friend. My helping hand. Here he is. All right, so let's use the helping hand because that's his job. And you keep that in some kind of stable position. As much force down on that. And then we'll just fix that real quick. And then we're all done. I'll power it up. 17 minutes into the video. Don't even have much solder. Look at that. I didn't even go to Harbor Freight. Didn't even plan on doing this, guys. But, you know, you don't need much. Just need enough. The least, the better, actually. That's what they say. Do I believe it? No. Okay, we on top power. Come on, buddy. Get in there. Boost. Yeah, one thing about this KSGR, it has a boost. So it gets up to 500C like instantly. No wait time. But it's brutal on the tips. So you want to get a lot of spare tips. So I'm just gonna feed the solder in there and let it all fuse. Uh-oh. It's doing the most right now. I think I'm gonna be working on the other side because I don't want, it's already on the freaking terminal, great. So I'm gonna have to clean that up. But let's just get this negative in here. Then I'm just feeding it. I'm letting the flux do its job, but it doesn't look like it's happy. This is dropping everywhere else. And I don't want to get this terminal too hot. As I already, you know, just fixed it. So I'm trying to just let this thing set. Set for me, baby. Get in there. Pull it in. So unhappy. I've never seen The bullet's so unhappy to take in some beautiful warmth. There we go. Looking like you're happy. You're getting happy now. It's just... if I can... There we go. Now, there's no right or wrong way to do anything, guys, but I just do it the way that's been working for me. And so far it seems working all right. Let me just get some in the back. Full connection. There we go. Just don't like it. It's just... it's not happy. It's really not happy. Just add a little flux to you on that side. Because it's just decrepit. I guess a lot of the heat, it took off the gold plating, kinda, you know. Heat's not the best. So, but it works. Come on, you can suck it in. There we go. I like that now. Wants to pull it in and drop it. And if only you can see what I'm dealing with this. Just stick. So, yep, that's gonna be done. I have a little pick. Maybe I don't need it. Maybe this is good enough. Oh, man, this is no good. There we go. Get out of there. Whatever. As long as it's not touching the heart, it's not touching the plastic, it's separated, I'm happy. Not gonna get too crazy with it. So let me go through this with you real quick. All right, so that's the finished repair. It's not the best, but as you can see, I had some solder that was touching the points. I just removed that from there, fixed this up here, and let me remove the alligator clip. Oh no! See, something's wrong. I gotta, if you look in there, it's just, oh, it's a mess. So I'm gonna clean that up. It wasn't taking it, I felt it. I'm just gonna fucking flux the hell out of that. That's why you test. So I'm gonna put some nice flux in you. We're gonna stick you back in. It looks like I could actually clean it up a little bit because the flux is not in there anymore. So let's see if we can compress this and just get a little more inside there. So once I get heat in there, there's a lot of solder already. It'll kind of just, you know, because I don't want to cut this anymore. Not much space left. I'm running out of usable room. So we're gonna put pressure on it. And I literally, I do have enough in there. Just needs to fuse. So let's hold you down like that. Jeez. It makes me feel like I should just redo a lot of this, but I don't really want to. What I will do is cut it down now. So get a little angle on it. So that should help. Yeah, I like that. And if you're a welder, you'll understand why I put a little angle on it. Should be able to get my material in there. Should be able to set it better, hopefully. All right, let's try again. Let's try again. Going on 25 minutes, not too bad. Just on boost, maximum heat. I don't have another tip, so if you're looking at the tip like, wow, yeah, the tip is pretty bad. I try to clean it off. It feels like it just gets dirtier. So, all right, it's the last of the flux. I can hear the flux. Come on, flux, put in. It's looking good on that side. This is the side I gotta be careful of. I'll try to pick up those little marbles on the bottom there, but I don't think I will be able to get them successfully. Feels like it's virgin, but you can see the other repair, it ripped the whole bullet out. It didn't rip the wire out of the bullet. So I need to make sure that it's 100%. I like the way this feels, but just gotta wait. This is all the solder I have left. That's it. So about 6 inches. Plus I have the scraps from the table and the book from the paper. You guys worry about it. You guys see solder, it just drops on paper. It hardens, no big deal. If you guys are concerned about that. All right, this feels better. This feels good. So I have no movement on the bullet. Oh. It's not better. So last time, I'm not gonna use any more solder. I'm gonna try to melt this down into the cup and use that because this is getting to be ridiculous. I don't want to tin the cup because I just won't have any space. Like, what is going on with this thing here? Is it? Going crazy, using my hand on 5,000. This is pretty hot. Whew. There we go. It's frustration, I guess. Should have been a short video. Turn into a video of a day. So I'm gonna just let it sit on there for a while. See if I can see it pulling like it's supposed to. Because I am pretty hot. And I don't wanna loosen the solder on the freaking everything else. I'm just trying to get this to go. But obviously there's something going on that I'm not aware of. I'm not in touch. I'm not in tune with what's going on with this thing right here. All right, didn't add any new solder. This is all the solder that was already on there. Now, when you use a lot of heat on these gold plated, it takes the gold plating off and it can cause a problem, as you can see. So I'm hoping with the force pressure that I use with the wrench, with the pliers and the heat, it got it to stick. It feels like, oh God. So let me just tin it for the win it. And I don't think it's gonna work. So let's put this up to max temp. And it's at 3 was at 400. Now it should be at 450, closer to 5. Make sure. It's just not taking anything. Flux, nothing. I don't understand why. Okay, it looks silver in there now, right? I'm putting a lot of pressure on the side of this bullet, so that's good to see. It's taking the pressure, but need the pliers. It's not even getting over our heads without the right equipment. So this is the longest part, obviously, of the video. A lot of silence and a lot of frustration. But back to that high voltage. See if I can even finish my thought with that while I'm doing this. So the Hobby Wing, I'm running it right now on 10S with the 1700 kV Castle motor, and it handles it like a champ. So I'm really interested to see how this high voltage Castle setup's doing, because, you know, at the end of the day, we only have enough space to do what we can do. You want to be the most. You want to do the most you can, though. When you're out there trying to be great. And it looks like the castle has brought a lot of ease into it. From what I've seen with the videos and the setups, and you know, I haven't seen any catch on fire. You know, the Ghost, I've seen that, you know, people are crashing still and shit is still breaking off. I thought they would have at least fixed that. Instead of making these bullets that come up, they could have did something else with the wires, like hobbying. That way you probably rip a wire off and then you could solder wires back together. It'll be easier than this crap. But I am hoping that this, yeah, I think that did the trick, guys. So I had to tin it. It just wasn't taking anything. I had to add some tin. All right, let's throw some wiring on it and see if it works still. Did heat up my wires a little bit, but I don't think they're damaged. All right, so what we're gonna do is just throw this on there, because this is where the power, it thinks this has its power switch. And we throw our capacitor on there. The motor's connected still. No idea what my capacitor is. It's probably underneath this. Yes, it is. And this. Yep. We're good to go, guys. Got lights flashing. Yep. And why not check out the log on that last rip? Let me see if I can find my castle connect. I got it. So let's check out that log while I'm here. Got you guys on the video still. Hopefully you stuck around. That crash was pretty brutal. But at least I realized, you know, it wasn't my fault, kinda. Technically it was. I built the car, so it's my fault, but it wasn't. Driver error in a sense where, you know, something broke. That's what took the car off the course that it went on. So let me try to change some stuff up here for you, and we can look at the big, damn, that shit is hot. The big screen here. We probably have to go to the small one because that's what it takes me all the time. It's annoying. Let's put it to a big screen. All right, so we got the Castle Connect, Castle Link up. And let's see, it's loading a database, blah, blah, blah. It's connected to the ESC. Make sure this ESC is still good. Uh-oh, it might not be. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's go to logging. Download. So yeah, like I said, I got on the throttle. I should see full throttle on this rip because I got on it pretty aggressively. And I'm thinking that's probably why that rear hub spindle, whatever the hell, gave away. And boom, got into an accident. And I just changed it, literally. I just changed it, but it wasn't like brand new. It was just whatever I had laying around, whatever pins I could find in my box of spare parts. So we'll do the first pass, right? You see the first one here is the first rip. Let's see if we can move that away. And then the second rip, obviously, it got cut off pretty abruptly. But the first rip, I got to full throttle at the end of the run. If you can see, it's a very jerky. There's no perfect pass on this. There's nothing like that on it. So looking at it, when I got to full throttle, around here is where I am on the graph. You'll see the numbers there. I had good voltage. I was pulling about 343 amps, but that wasn't this pass. So the other one was the max is 450. Indicator 6,000 watts, not too bad. 37,000 RPMs. You know, it was a very late trigger pull. I only got on the trigger for maybe 1 second. If you look down at the indicator, it's 0.5 seconds. And it's about 1 second I got on the throttle, full throttle. And you can see the ramp. So the ramp for this one was at 27.5 to full throttle. It was, what is that? 28. I can't even see what the hell those numbers are. How am I look? 287. So let's go back here. 275 to full throttle. 284, right? So it was about 9 seconds before I got to full throttle on that first run, if you understand the difference in the outputs. And on the second run, it's gonna be hard to see. There we go. I took me 422. To 429. So it was about 7 seconds. So I got on the throttle I got a lot more aggressive. You can see the ramp. It just, and before the crash, the max numbers I got out of the ESC, pulled it down to 17 volts. That's a good, almost good. That's 2 cells it dropped. Pulled out a good 450 amps. Motor RPM was going, was just starting to accelerate, didn't get anywhere. And 100% out, and then it crashed. So that's the logs on that last success run. I think it would have did something special, maybe 130, 135 maybe, give or take. But didn't get a chance to find out. So we're not gonna save it, unimportant to me. What we will do is clear the data. And with the hard crash like that, I'll just update the ESC just to make sure it's awake. Let me do a software update. Update the firmware. I got a couple screens here. It's just a lot of back and forth. And let it update that firmware, and then I'll put this on something else. I'll keep the same setup together. Everything seems solid with the soldering, so I'm comfortable with that now. Yeah, I didn't want a tin inside because you can see I didn't really have much solder left. And once you start adding solder inside that cup, there's really no space to get the wire in there, but it's what was needed. So the wire is good, secured, ready to pull some amps. ESC's back on the road. That's updating. But yeah, it's hooked up to this ESC, if you can see. Thanks for watching. If anybody has any questions about how to fix this, just hit me up. I'll gladly walk you through it. You can do this without removing the wire. But I find it just easier because once you start putting a lot of heat to this, make it hot enough to melt solder, it's gonna melt the solder that's in there, you know? So if you wanna stick it on there and try to tack weld it with solder around there, it's just gonna melt all all this epoxy. The easiest way is to have as least amount of heat on the board and the most amount of heat through the bullet, if you can't spot weld it like they do from the factory. So I got this back together. Yep, looking forward to getting a car together. Hopefully I'll throw that little 1/8 chassis together that you see, and maybe make a video later today with it going on the road on 3S. All right, thanks for watching, man. I hope this helps somebody.